Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue our lovely story about Aladdin. The last point where we stopped, it was magician. He found out that Aladdin is living his happily life. He's a famous prince, and he's rich and he's successful. Everybody loves him, the nation, the people, the sultan, the princess, everyone loves him, so he's super successful. So magician, he got envy a lot. In the beginning, of course, the lamp supposed to belong to him, so he really made a plan to take revenge, and he really wanted that lamp back. So we said that he took a Berber horse and he went ahead to Kingdom of China. Once he reached, he rented out the room in a khan. Khan, you may say that it's inn or some kind of motel. In Middle East, usually people name them khan or khana. So he rented there a room and he started to investigate about Aladdin. First he went to the street and he observed the people talk, and he listened different stories about Aladdin, because all city rumors and everything was, and gossips was around this Aladdin, but in a positive way, because they like him. And he had a small conversation with the owner of the inn of the khan. He asked, who's that Aladdin? And the owner, he laughed too much at him, like, you don't know Aladdin, come on, he's like that and he's like that. So he described him in a beautiful manner, of course. And he was interested where he lived. For that owner of the khan, he said, you don't know where Aladdin live? And he brought him to the window and he showed him, this is his palace, you see there, over there, that's magnificent, beautiful palace, he lives there, he stays there. And then magician, he asked how he going to meet him. Then the owner of the inn, he said, oh no, you cannot meet him, because Aladdin, he left the city, he went for the hunting for the 3 days, so he won't be available within the 3 days, so now there is nobody in the palace. For this magician, he got really excited, so he got a good opportunity to return his lamp. However, he didn't really know where is the lamp, so by his logic, by his thinking, he concluded that for sure around 90%, 80%, let's say, the lamp going to be in the palace. That's why he asked the address, where is the palace. The first thing what he did, he went to the market and he got new lamps, beautiful new lamps, different, and he got big basket and put all the lamps inside the basket. And he went ahead to the way to the palace. While he was going to the way, and he was shouting and announcing, I will take old lamp for the new lamp. Exchange your old lamp to the new lamp. Exchange your old people, like this, in this manner, right? We're in the Middle East. I'm going to exchange your old lamp for the new lamp. For that, people getting so much excited, who want to exchange, he come out and he exchanged for the new lamp their old lamp. But when he come to the palace, he start shout in very high manner, very high noise. So the people who lives in the palace, they will listen him, they will hear him. The servant of the princess, she heard that, and she came up to princess and she said, Princess Badr al-Budur, there is a one man seller. He is selling new lamps, and he is on all what his request is for the exchange the old lamp for the new lamp. For that, Princess Badr said, yeah, tell him to wait, because I think we have in one room very, very old dusty lamp, and it's like rusted, so I think we need the new one. Of course, Badr al-Budur, she wasn't aware that this is the magic lamp, and that magician, being a seller, he's tricking her. So she went there, she asked the servant bring the lamp, and by herself she met the magician and she exchanged the true magic lamp to the new lamp, so-called, which was given for free from the magician. It wasn't like for free, it was like an exchange, but when you exchange, you're getting a benefit, you're getting something new instead of old. However, the old, what she was having in her hand, it was a really precious one, right? And then she said, excuse me, you want the old lamp for the new one, can I have it? When she was having the lamp in her hand, magician, he noticed the lamp and he absolutely recognized that that's the lamp what he wanted, the magic lamp. Without any hesitation, he said, yes, of course, Your Majesty, of course. He showed his basket and he said, took whatever you want and whatever amount you want. Take 2, take 3, however. I don't mind. I exchanged the new lamps for the old ones. But the Budur, she just give it away. That lamp, he said, like, take. For that magician, he took in his hand. He understand the power. He went a little bit far from the place, from the palace, and he rubbed the lamp and the jinn come out, and then jinn, he said, I'm ready for your order. So a magician, he said, I want this palace and everything inside it to be in North Africa. Immediately, once he said this one, the palace gone from its place. Who were inside the palace? All the people also gone with the palace, including Princess Badr al-Budur. She was inside the palace. And jinn brought that palace to the North Africa, in the middle of the desert, quite far from the city. From the blooming green place, he took him to the desert, where to reach even that site, it's difficult. So I think he quite planned here. And people who saw the palace and they didn't see second time, like nothing the palace there, so they got shocked. All the servants, they ran to the Sultan and they complained that there was a palace and it's gone. Sultan, he got shocked. I'm telling you, this story is all about shock. He got shocked and he said, how come? For that vizier, he said, I told you, and I told you many times, and I repeated that this is all kind of magic, and Your Majesty, you didn't want to listen to me, he said. And Sultan, he got too much furious, he got too much angry, and he said immediately to his soldiers, go bring for me the Aladdin. I want explanation. I don't want even explanation. Go bring him and we're going to execute him. Because my daughter gone, the palace gone, and what's happening? And he's using the magic, all these conversations. It's written in the book. So he showed his angriness, and in this manner he was extremely disappointed, let's say. And here vizier, he's telling, I told you it was magic and all the stuff. The palace by itself cannot disappear. So the servants, the soldiers, they went to bring Aladdin. In the middle of nothing, Aladdin, he was hunting. They stopped him, they put chains on his hand, and they deliver Aladdin to the Sultan's feet. Without any explanation, Sultan took an order to execute him. They brought him in the middle of the market. We know that execution normally happens in the middle of the market in the Middle East and medieval, anyway, in ancient times, since we set the place like agora. Actually, the market is the heart of the city, right? Everything happens there because a lot of people gather there. So announcing them, it's much more easier, so everybody will know, and it's like a public place, first public place, I can say. Yes, like in the Greece we had a place agora, and in the Middle East we're calling it bazaar. So it was quite public place and to show to everyone what is happening in the country and in the city. So it was important. So they brought him to the market, to the place of the execution. By the way, I want to highlight that the squares, they appear later. Before it was market. Yeah. So in the middle you'll have here shops where everybody's selling, and then next to it restaurants, but in the middle there was the execution place. So the execution was different, by hanging, by cutting, whatever. And without an explanation, Sultan, he gave an order, yalla, execute Aladdin. We don't want him. People, they are shocked. They want to understand what's happening. They just brought the Aladdin and they want to execute him without no reason and any kind of explanation. And they start to cheer and they give different kind of voices like ooh. And Vizier, he said to Sultan, I think you have to hold his execution, because if you're going to execute him without explanation, then this people going to raise the riots. You know, riot, like they're going to make it mess up the city, and maybe they will come to the palace itself to ask the justice. Normally, executions, when you do execution, you need to explain for what you're doing execution, why this person is dying, why they're going to cut his head. This you need to explain. But Sultan, he cannot explain, because he's going to be in very silly and stupid position. And what we're going to explain? I believe to this guy, and I give to my daughter to him because he built the palace and give the money. You know, he cannot explain that to the people, and people will not accept that. And on top of it, if you want to lie, you need to create something behind the lie, right? To make it stronger, the truth, to make it the truth, so the people will accept that. Sultan didn't give him time. Also, he didn't give to himself time to explain that much he was angry. And Vizier, he explained that we need to stop this execution, otherwise those people going to come to our heads, and maybe it will end up in very bad incident or accident, however you want to call it. It's going to be ended up very bad. Sultan, he little bit cool off, and then he said, okay, cancel it and bring him to the jail, he said, until we decide what we're going to do, until we're going to find out solution and all this stuff. Also, Vizier also added that he is the one who can give an answer and find your daughter, because no one going to give an answer. The palace, he is the only link which is linked to the palace disappearance. The rest, no one can explain for that, right? And they brought Aladdin to Sultan, and Aladdin, of course, I want to explain the situation here. Aladdin also in extremely shock. He didn't know that palaces disappear. In the middle of hunting, somebody come and they put him in the chain without any explanation, because the servants also, they don't know what happened, so they just doing their order. So he was like, why, how, why I'm dying, what's happening, why I'm executing, you know. He questioned everyone, but everyone is ignoring him. They don't want to give an answer, because those people also, they don't know what's happening. So when he came to the Sultan's feet, they dropped him, and he looked at to the Majesty, and he said, Your Majesty, what's happening? And why I'm in this situation, why I'm fully chained, and you want to execute me? And he said, he took the Aladdin from his neck and he said, look, where is the palace? Where is my daughter? Where is all disappear? It's empty hill. Where is everything? How are you going to explain this one? Aladdin, when he looked, he saw nothing. He didn't see no palace, no princess. It's like empty place, like before it was built, before the palace itself. His own palace is gone. On top of it, it's gone with the princess. And then Aladdin, he cannot fit everything into his brain. You know, he cannot make any conclusion. He's still in a great shock. So to give himself time, here it's very important, and it's really connected to the Middle East background. He asks Sultan 40 days. He gave him time. He said, within 40 days, I'm going to find the princess. He wasn't care already about the castle, but he said, within 40 days, I'm going to find the princess, and I am going to bring her back to you. And Sultan, obviously, he didn't have any choice than to be, you know, to be agree, because, as I said, the only link between the palace, it was the Aladdin. And for Sultan, he said, of course, I can give you that 40 days, and I don't have any choice, and your wish is granted, and go find the princess. So Aladdin, I want to here highlight, in this book, in the original book, which was written by Halland and Diab, they are highlighting multiple times his religion, although he's from China, but there is a Chinese Muslims. They're highlighting his religion too much here. Aladdin religion, we know that he's 100% a Muslim. However, if you're going to go to cartoon, the famous Disney cartoon, of course, they're not highlighting that. Overall, in cartoons, they don't highlight religion, but in the book, in the original fairy tale, it was highlighted multiple times. So in the next chapter, when the Ali, he went for the revenge, and he wanted to return back the princess, the next chapter names is a Princess Revenge, Prince Aladdin Revenge. And here in the beginning, they say that he was so much desperate. So in order to find a solution and cool him off, he prayed. So he went to the river. He was first they describe his feelings, you know, how much he was desperate, and how he cannot figure out what's happened, and how and where he will go, right? Where he will go, because he doesn't know that magician. He's from North Africa. He doesn't know where he stays, and he doesn't know where he could take the palace. Even he had that power, you know, so he will continue, and he will try his best to find out. So he was like like empty. His head was empty, because he don't have any solution. It's like in front of the death, you know, when somebody dies, you cannot bring them back. So he was in this situation. So in order to cool himself, he went next to the river to make an ambulance, so he will wash his body to prepare to prayer. And here exactly then they mention he decided throw himself, right? But he's a good Muslim. Before throw himself, I believe throw they meant here suicide. We don't know, but because he was a good Muslim, he decided first to pray, so he might could find the answers with his prayers. And he went next to the river. You know, when you grab the water from the river is not, of course, empty. There is many stones under the river. So when he was grabbing the water from the river, he was having a ring on his hand, and he rubbed accidentally his ring on the stone and calmed the jinn. The first jinn who helped him to go out from the wall. To remember that he was inside the cave, and that ring was also given by magician. So when he rubbed the ring, while he wanted to wash his hands and wash his face, the jinn came out from the ring, and he asked, "What's your order?" Aladdin, he immediately asked, "Save my life and return everything what was taken from me." For that jinn answered that that's not in his power, that only that jinn in the lamp he can do so. Me, I cannot do anything and he cannot help for that. And Aladdin, he's like, okay, if so, let you that bring me there. He asked jinn to let Aladdin to bring him there where is now. Magician was in the palace to the North Africa. Immediately Aladdin, he appeared next to his palace. He was so much happy, extremely happy, that he had a simple little hope, to be there and solve the problem, the issue. It was already night time and he wanted to have some power, and he got sleep under the trees. Once he appeared, he decided to take rest. Also, these tales are maybe for the children. It will be, we know that the tales are mostly for children. Maybe for children it will not be that much important, but for the adults here, very important. If you want to start a big new project, a day before you need to really take rest. So here Aladdin, he took the same decision. And this is mentioned already the second time, not the first time. So he took a nap, it was a night time already, so he didn't want to go in the night, go and rush and help the princess, and so he decided to sleep under the tree. In the morning the birds woke him up, and he went closer to the window, and the servant of Badr al-Budur, she noticed Aladdin, and she said to Badr al-Budur, she saw Aladdin, she got extremely happy, and then she said she's going to open the door down, the secret door, so he can enter. And Aladdin right away, he missed his wife, right? It's love between them. They are explaining that they really love each other. And he went up to that secret door. They had a conversation, they was crying, and all the emotions was beautifully described. And Aladdin, he said, don't cry, and we going to sort it out, everything. And Aladdin, he asked what happened, so she said everything, that come this magician, and he exchanged for the lamp, and suddenly we become here. I thought you die, I thought my father died. And for that, Aladdin, he explained that actually lamp is magic lamp. Here, first time, after his mom, he's opening the secret to his wife. Before, he didn't tell anything about that one. She got very furious because she was cheated, the princess Badr al-Budur. I think she has an anger sim like her dad, because they explained that the chapter name is A Princess Revenge, right? And she got very furious, and she said, we need to, this magician, and he is so bad. See, within 2 days, once the palace was shifted to the North Africa, they didn't have any relationship relationship with magician and Badr al-Budur, because Badr al-Budur, she was extremely harsh, and she was shouting at him, like telling him, go away, I don't want to see you. And magician, he was calming himself and giving himself time that he's going to, seduce her, or it's going to be opposite, or, they will have a love fairy tale, because he really want the princess Badr al-Budur, why not? And the princess, she was harsh with him, so they didn't have any contact. So she explained that also to Aladdin, that this happened, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He attempted to come and talk to her, but she was all the time harsh, and she doesn't want to see. And so the magician decided to give her a little bit time, because it's shock again, you're shocking the girl, let her a little bit relax. Okay, this is not written there, I'm just adding for you to imagine better. So the princess, Aladdin, he said, let us set the plan nicely. What plan they set up? He said, I'm going to now to market, and I'm going to come back with something else, you wait for me. Aladdin, he went to the market. Of course, he was wearing his splendid clothes, right? He sold that clothes, and he bought peasant clothes, which is, you know, more comfortable to wear. And for the remaining money, he bought poison, powder poison. He came back to Badr al-Budur, and then he started to explain the steps, what she need to do. It is nothing like that in Disney movie, you know, like Jasmine, she tries to seduce Jafar, nothing like that at all, even close to the story, to the original story. And I believe it's okay to change the fairy tale. Now we're having two different, you know, fairy tales, and both of them interesting. So he bought poison powder, and he said to Badr al-Budur, listen, what you're going to do. So you're going to dress up very good and put all your makeup, put all your beautiful clothes on, order the dinner, order the dinner, and invite the magician to your room. And prepare wine, nice wine, Chinese one, because if it comes with a palace, for sure there is a kitchen, and there is in the kitchen supposed to be Chinese wine. And drink, let him and you drink that wine in the beginning. And then you will open the conversation, and you will say, I never ever drank in my life North African wine from your country. I really want to try it. All what you have drunk in your life, it's only Chinese wine. So you show your desire that you want to drink something new, something from North Africa, and you show that desire. Once for sure he will be happy to share that wine from North Africa, and magician, he will go out and he will bring for you North African wine. When he goes out, you put the poison in your cup, not in his cup, in your cup. And when he comes back, he will let you try North African wine, and then you're going to show him a trick. So Badr al-Budur, she listened everything. She did exactly the same. They are beautifully describing that she looked at the mirror, that she didn't recognize herself because she was in too deep depression and the sorrow that she didn't put makeup on, and she looked very ugly, and her clothes was like a pajamas, you know, and she started to change. She put her golden belt with the jewelry, she put her beautiful jewelry on her head and accessories, all this stuff. She dressed up her most splendid dresses, and she make over, and she became a beautiful in the end, you know, in order to have a beautiful dinner with the magician. Magician name is not mentioned, by the way. And the magician, he was invited, and also he was shocked magician that, wow, of course I will come. And he came, and he saw Badr al-Budur very beautiful, and he understand that she changed her mood a little bit, because no way to go. So you have to accept it in the end to stay with him. And she offered him Chinese wine, and she poured for herself Chinese wine, and she said, you know, let us drink. Okay, they drink a little bit, and then she said, you know, I will be very happy to have a little bit sip from your country's wine. I would love to taste your country wine, because all my life I drink only Chinese, and it's absolutely boring, and I want to change it. And she said, do you have some? Magician here, oh my God, you know, the girl flirting with him. Of course, he said, just a second, I'm going to bring the best wine from my country. He ran out from the room. When he ran out from the room, Badr al-Budur, she was having her poison. She took it and she sipped it on her cup. And then promptly, very fast, he came back. And he said, this is North African wine. Let's drink, you know. And he poured in his cup. But Badr al-Budur cup was full with her wine, and then he said, okay, and then he was going to pour into her cup. He said, no. In China, again, they mention here China, we have a tradition that we have to taste from your cup and you're going to taste from my cup. So she meant, they're crossing their hands, and the opposite side's hands are going to, you're going to drink the wine from opposite side, and you're going to let someone drink from your hand. So she said, let's do this custom. We have beautiful tradition. Magician, oh my God, this is so romantic. Of course, the man will not say no. So they make it like this, the hands, and he drank all the cup till the last drop. And while he was drinking, Badr al-Budur, she was observing, because this is what they wanted, right? And he drank all the cup and he died. Beautiful ending, right? He drank all the cup of the wine and he got poisoned and he died. For that, when she found his body not moving, she called Aladdin. Aladdin, he came and he said, what is the lamp? And Badr al-Budur, he said he always carries with his he always carried the lamp under his cloak. So when they opened his cloak, they found the lamp under his cloak, and Aladdin, he took the lamp and he rubbed the lamp, and the genie come out, and he said to the genie, transfer and shift all the palace and everything to its place. They were transferred to the place, and Aladdin, he went to the Sultan, he invited the Sultan, he explained everything A to Z what happened, and even they went up because he brought with him the body, the magician body, and he said, this is the magician, this is the villain, and he's the one who kidnapped your daughter and my wife, and now he's that, and we punish him. All the stuff. For that, Sultan, he got extremely happy, and he said, take out the body from the palace and let this body be in the street. This is the worst punishment. One of the worst punishment was in the Middle East, that your body is not buried, and it was just like this in the street, and the animals and insects going to eat your body. This was the worst. I just remember something because I run the history, right? I run the history channels. I would like to share with you that in the Middle East, and this time for the Muslims, it's good and it's must the body to be buried, right? But in Asian Persia, before the Islam, before the Christianity, before any monolithic religion, it was quite opposite. Your body should not be touched. You should not be buried. Like if somebody dies in Asian Persia, they used to let the dog, preferable dog, and the bird to eat your body, and whatever left, the remainings, the bones, they used to put in a big jar, and they used to keep in the graveyard, because the land, it was sacred. So the body was, it's like dirty, should not make dirty the land. So this was different tradition and the view to the body after the death. But however, in the book they mentioned that a magician body was just displaced in Angora in the street, and the dogs and the birds and the insects, they just eat the body, and in this way he was punished. He already did that, but showed the shame to all the people, because you have to report in front of the people why the palace was there and why palace is gone and all this stuff. Sultan, after that, he announced 10 days feast. It was 10 days holiday, and Aladdin, he became a superhero because he returned the Badr al-Budur princess, and he returned his palace, and this is all was work of a magician. I wish there is an end for that. However, you see, in the cartoon they finish it with the death of Jafar, and everything is happy and everybody is flying. Notice that there is no carpets here. They didn't include here flying carpets, surprisingly, but flying carpet was a thing in the Disney cartoon, right? And it's not the end guys, the fairy tale didn't finish. I want to say it's finished, no, but it didn't finish. I'm here with you already more than 30 minutes. So part 5 coming to complete, because there is a continuation. As a teaser, I will say that there is a brother of magician who want to take a revenge from Aladdin. So the number 5 part was going to be our last part, and see you till the next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you have any question. I would like to answer to your questions, and see you till the next time. Bye.